welcome everyone to another episode of Bruvcast. I'm Raj.
Mick.
What's up, man?
All good. Let's not even look. Me and Raj are recording for about half an hour before we even start. It's not the first time we're jumping on, and it wasn't recorded.
Oh, Bhagwan Normales, bro. So honest. I was carrying on to pretend like everything was
I
cash.
know it's cash, isn't it? I know, bro, but it is what it is, isn't it?
So I forgot to press record, and we recorded. Well, we thought we were recording for half an hour, and whatever we spoke about will never be spoken about again because I don't know. I feel like whenever we try and redo a story, it just doesn't land. So hopefully, this new version of the episode is better than that one.
But the stories are still relevant because they're not made up.
No, the stories are still relevant. So yeah, what's been happening, man?
I'm good, man. How you been?
I'm tired, bruv. I'm gonna get straight into my struggle.
Go for it.
So baby's been at nursery now, and she's only going 2 days a week. But she's starting to obviously have some of that separation anxiety, I think they call it. Where she's like, I mean, you understand it, right? From her perspective, she's like, every Thursday and Friday, well, obviously she doesn't know what day of the week it is, but there's certain days that we just drop her off somewhere and then she does not see us for, the best part of 8 hours. And then all of a sudden, we come back to pick her up. So she must be obviously like confused and scared and stuff. And now that's playing out in how she's behaving, especially when it comes to sleep. So there'll be times where like she's for probably about most of the first year of life, she was sleeping by herself in her cot, in the same room as us, but in her cot. But now that's changed, and she just wants to sleep in the bed, and then I'm kind of like paranoid about it. But even before that, like that's probably happening for the past 2 weeks. I'm having like these weird insomnia situation where like I'll wake up, she'll be asleep, bruv, but I'll be awake at 3:00 and I cannot go back to sleep. I'm wide awake. And I try like listening to stuff. I try and like do breathing exercises. The things that I've normally taught myself or tried. And that normally kind of like settles me back and I go knock out again. And it hasn't been working.
Yeah.
So I wanted to first ask you about that because I remember at uni days, especially first year of uni, you wouldn't sleep. I remember I would be like, I'm going to bed. And you'd still be up. And I think you used to go to sleep at around like 3:00. I don't know what you used to do because there was no internet. Maybe you were cleaning. I don't know what you were doing, bro. But like, yeah, tell me more about how you deal with it.
I
feel like you've had this for longer. Like,
yeah, definitely. I think, especially that time. I remember when you and Sit would go to sleep. Yeah. It used to get to the point. I remember Sit would be like, "All right," you'd be like, "I'm going to bed." Sit would either do two things. He'd ask me, "Want to watch a movie?" Or he'd be like, he'd close his door as well. Be like, "Nah, man, shop's closed today. We're movie cinema is closed." Yeah,
this catalog's closed. Right? It's catalog for one.
Yeah, he's tired. And I think I was going through homesick. I think I was homesick. I think, and I think I dealt with it without. And I remember, I was like, "Oh fuck!" I don't know why, but the thing is, when someone's homesick, all they want to do is spend time in their own room, and I didn't want to spend time in my own room. Does that make sense? When you're homesick, I think you want to spend time with people, isn't it? Trying to,
trying to get your mind off it, right? Or
exactly, and obviously new surroundings at uni. So that first year, I remember I didn't, especially the first half of that first year, and at night, I'd play PlayStation, yeah, or when you guys go to sleep, I go to make my food as if it's like a snack, yeah. play PlayStation, or
on your mom's on your mum's TV.
on my mom's TV, yeah, in that 1980s, hunk of junk, bro. Or I'd be on my laptop, listening, downloading. No, I can't even download. Listen to music. I remember you'd given me all this music, so I'd put music on. I'd just lie in bed, bro, and tried to fall asleep. Yeah, and eventually I would, but it would be at a time where you're probably, not close to getting up, but you are closer to waking up than you are going to sleep at that time.
Yeah, I remember you'd be. I mean, there'd be. I still remember there'd be certain times where you would either have just gone to sleep as I'm leaving, or you hadn't slept.
Yeah.
And you would just sleep during the day.
Yeah.
Like you'd sit in Sybil's room and watch like
knockout, and we'd both I remember we'd knock out, and
you'd knock out. You'd watch like American Pie, How High, Friday, all of those like classic movies,
and then that's it. I think I don't know what the term for it would be, bruv. Yeah, but I know I was definitely homesick, and maybe there was some kind of anxiety there. The sleep deprivation, which was self-inflicted. I was putting that on myself. How I made myself go to sleep or not, how there was no method, bruv. It was literally lie there, and once I'd done the snack, played the PlayStation, listened to music was the last thing where my body couldn't take any more, and you just go sleep, bro. But back then it never shows, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, you can have lack of sleep and then go to uni, come back, get through the day, whatever you do, and then go out in the evening. This was only the going out and partying in the evening was actually okay. That helped. It was helped because by the time I came home, I wanted to go sleep anyway. Does that make sense? Yeah, because you're actually genuinely exhausted. But it's on the days where you've just gone to uni or you haven't gone to uni. Those are the days where I struggle, where we didn't do anything. It was definitely some kind of anxiety, bro. Because I never had that issue in second year or third year, where I'd stay up and it wasn't a thing. Exhausted, so it was. But I remember. I don't know, man. There was no method for me to go like these days. You're right, man. You said you do breathing exercise. You can listen to a podcast, or I don't know, listen to something calming that just puts you back to sleep. Or you go, you get up and go for, some people go for a walk, man, to calm, take things off their mind if they've got things on their mind to help them go sleep, or read a book. I can read about 20 pages if I'm trying, and then I'll fall asleep straight away. But if I knew the things like you said, the breathing exercises and stuff, I know now, I would have tried those. But bro, there was nothing. It's definitely anxiety of some sort. And so
the thing is, even if it's you have tools to deal with it, there are situations where that doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah. You know what? You talking about this puts me. I can picture myself in that exact situation, and there was no sleep whatsoever. There's no way I was going to sleep.
I remember clearly.
Yeah,
because you used to say to me that you're in insomniac.
Yeah,
you used to literally say, "I'm insomniac. I don't sleep. I can't sleep at night." Because I feel like you actually just used to sleep during the day, as in like that was your schedule would be you'd stay up.
Well, that's what happens after a while, doesn't it? Your body.
You just everything just swaps. Yeah.
I used to. There was days where I'd struggle to go sleep at home as well, but back then you have internet. You do. Your room is your sanctuary, isn't it? When you're at home, bro, exactly. There's a routine there. This was all new, man. You're in new surroundings, new people, not just that in who you're living with, but new people who you're living with. New food habits as well, because think about when you're at home, everything's changed. Every
part of your life is different now.
Every part of your life is different, and you're adjusting to it. So it's funny, isn't it? We don't recognize what's going on at that point. You don't even ask yourself, "Why am I like this?" You don't.
There's no self-awareness, bro.
You have no self-awareness to ask. Oh, because at the end of the day, you're adolescence, and all that, jazz. Basically, you're just thinking to yourself, "Well, this is the way it is. And this is how it's going to be," and you just adapt. So, I don't know if I digressed off a topic, but maybe she's babies are going through that as well, right? It's a new change.
I'm going through it, bro.
Yeah. You know what she's doing? She's like, "Man, I'm going through this. You're going through this with me."
Yeah. You feel even more frustrated. I feel more frustrated when she is fast asleep. And I'm wide awake because I'm like, I am missing out on sleep.
Yeah.
Because when she's up, okay, fine, I could be up. Like if we were in sync and we were both wired at the same time, it's okay. But I feel like I've got FOMO for sleep.
Yeah.
When she's asleep, Gagan's asleep, but I'm awake.
Yeah.
So I tried to listen to this podcast, right? It's called Sleep With Me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard about it.
No.
And it's literally this dude who is just talking into the void. And like he has this really long intro, and then like he'll have like the body of what he's talking about. But it's like 2 hours or something. The first time I heard it, I fell asleep, bruv. I literally fell asleep. I don't know what it is about his voice. And it's like it's pretty soothing. I wouldn't say it's like very, very like relaxing or anything, but it's very monotone, and he purposefully talks in a certain way, and he keeps repeating himself with like the things that he is saying. And then he kind of and then he reads a book at some point, and then he'll talk about something else, and then you're trying to follow along, but you can't follow what he's saying because it's like imagine your pops on a mic, and you just say G bolo way bolo, bruv, yeah, whatever you want to say. There's an audience listening to you. There's hundreds of people waiting for you, bruv, yeah. That's what this guy like is, and he sounds like he's older than he actually is. He's not that old, but when you hear it, you're like, oh, this guy's pretty old. So I've been trying to listen to that, but then after the first, I think it was the first and the second time, I knocked out, and then after that, it wasn't working for me. So, but can you imagine if our dads did like
sleep training or some kind of sleep?
A sleep podcast.
Sleep.
Should we have like a Bruvcast, like a new a side channel or something where we just have our dads sleep? I don't think any of our listeners actually sleep listening to this podcast because we laugh too much, and we're making too much sound. Like it's not the same monotone all the way through. But maybe people do. But yeah, I feel like I think there's a lot more out there to help for people who have insomnia, but these are just band-aid solutions, man. Like you need to get to the root of what is happening. I feel like for me, I've shifted roles at work as well, and I think there's some change going on there that I'm like adapting to. So that's like it's more responsibility in some ways. So then that's going on for sure. Baby's not in full-time nursery, so I think that's also playing a part in it as well.
Do you know when sleep becomes a factor? When there's some kind of change in your life, it draws attention. Something affects. When everything's going, it's just not. And when I say flatline, I mean steady. Yeah, and then
consistent.
Consistent. Yeah, thanks. And then obviously it starts to jutter a bit, and you've got a few changes which are affecting you guys, affecting anyone. Not just you guys in any way, parents, couples, whatever. And it's not. These are just life changes, right? I do remember. So think about it. For a year, baby's just been with you, right? So those first few months having the baby, it's euphoric, etc. Right? So I don't know if you do notice change in your sleep patterns and your tiredness, etc. Because there's an extra person you're looking after, right? But you get used to that after a few months, right? So, but for all three of you, and this happened to me, I remember when we got to around. I can't remember what, I think at 9 months. Yeah, at 9 months is when obviously my missus went back to work, right? So that's when she was enrolled into nursery about a couple of days a week. And I had some intern like inside, I was like, shit. So she, the mum always deals with the kind of separation as well, right? Oh, it's the first time I'm giving my child to someone who's not family, who's going to look after them. Dealing with that. Obviously, the baby doesn't want to settle in at nursery. And then I've got this thing where it's like, oh, I was doing something for 9 months. We got used to it. Now
Now everything's
On
changed,
Tuesday,
right?
now so everything's changed because Mrs. is going back to work. So that means if I'm starting work a bit later, then I'm dropping her. On Mondays, I remember my mum used to come pick her up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. before we left the house, and then she'd look after her. The next day, it will be like, oh, one of us is working from home, so that person needs to go drop her to nursery. Then I go to work on Wednesday, and then Mrs. is working from home on Wednesday, and she goes to drop her to nursery. And I remember for the first few weeks, that affected me. Yeah, not just it affected my wife, obviously. It affected Nish because I remember she was, like, because she's like thinking to herself, I'm so far away. The maternal instincts, etc. Right? It probably affects, the mums more and the child more, obviously, than it affects us. But there's change in it. Does that make sense? So then I started to make a point. I remember at that point that, oh no, I need to go to sleep, man, because I know this one's going to be up in the morning and I'm going to have to deal with her by myself and we're not just at home to be able to deal with it. We actually need to be, both of us need to be somewhere and someone's coming to pick her up, or we need to get to nursery early enough. And I remember getting her changed, but inside it just felt like, oh man, this is a mad change. And then we get used to that. And then that affected my sleep. And I remember going to work, I just wasn't on point. Does that make sense? Because you're thinking about shit. When you're on mat leave, when Gagan's on mat leave, your child is safe, she's fine because she's at home with G, and you're at work, right? But we know when you're, I don't know how you felt when the first time you dropped off to nursery and you went to work. And Gagan was doing whatever, going to work as well, right? And then she basically, you're thinking to yourself, is she okay? Is she not okay?
Yeah.
That there's those things, and when you get used to that, it changes again because when they start school,
it's a whole new thing.
And you're thinking, and now they're more aware because they get anxiety because they're probably thinking they're so happy to come home after that change, right, from nursery to, right now, like. They get used to nursery, then they're like, oh, okay, great, I'm used to this now, so I want it to stay like this forever. Kids are like that. If I ask my kids now, when they first started their school, they hated it. And now I ask them, they're like, I want to stay here forever. Little do they know that they're going to go to a new school and it's going to get even, you're going to go through changes. But I think that we all adapt, don't we? That the kids adapt, we adapt, and changes is part of it, innit? But it's funny, I'm just trying to draw more attention to it. It's funny how, sleep. So I don't want to ramble on too much because I've done it enough, but there's one more thing, like recently when I changed jobs, before, when I was relaxed in my element at my previous job, I go sleep whenever because I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Does that make sense? There's no eyes on me. I remember I was with my new job, I was like sleep. I couldn't get into bed soon enough. They were quick enough, basically. And I've never been that way with going to sleep. Why?
But you wanted to go to sleep.
I wanted to. You know why? Okay. I was dealing with, I think, anxiety of starting a new job, and I was like, it was my escape.
But you could get to sleep though.
Huh? You could instantly. Instantly. I was, and it was. I think I was dealing with that new change anxiety. I don't know, of being in a new environment. Yeah. Does that make sense? So it's funny when there's some change. Sometimes you can't sleep. Yeah. But when there is, and then sometimes you use sleep as escape for 8 hours.
Yeah. No, sometimes it is. Sometimes I'm finding it out. Just No, yeah, I agree, man. There's definitely been times in my life where I've been like, oh man, I'm so looking forward to going to sleep tonight.
Yeah. Because you want to escape. You just like. For those 8 hours, no one can touch you, innit? Does that make sense? Bro, that's it.
No one can marry your gun, bro. But now you can, bro. Now can that happen?
Do you know what? I think, and you know how you're saying, like, no one can marry your gun for 8 hours, yeah? When you're asleep. I think it's more of a case that, I think that's exactly what it is. You're separating yourself. You're kind of running, to a certain point, it's like running away from everything because you don't want to think. In your sleep, you can't think. You do, but you then obviously
not actively.
Yeah. You're not forcing yourself to think about problem solving and all those kind of things. So it's one of those.
It is a good way to. Well, they say in it, sleep on it, because there are situations where you can't make a decision about which way to go about something.
No.
And sleep does help because I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes at work, if I'm struggling with something or I'm like, I can't unlock whatever it is I'm trying to do, and I need to like, solve a problem, I could spend hours and hours and hours on it, and nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But then I could go for a walk or do something different, something else, something unrelated, and then come back and look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is how I'd do it. This is how I'd fix it. And I think if you get so obsessed about something, whatever it is, sometimes sleep can actually be a good release, just to kind of like disconnect from it. But it's fucking so important, bro. Like I think the older you get, the more you appreciate sleep. Definitely, anyone who has kids appreciates sleep on another level, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think you're right. Definitely about sleep helping your thought processes and helping you solve problems that you couldn't solve the day before. And next day you have so much more energy as well. And you're like, you know what? It was a bad day yesterday, but today I'm ready. I'm ready for this, man. I'm gonna smash it out and solve it or whatever. Even when you're doing anything in your house as well. When you're sleep. I think now at this age, I guess as you get older, you realize sleep is gonna help re-energize you, but it's just gonna help your mind refresh as well. And you're definitely right about being more grateful for every hour of sleep that you get, man, especially when you have kids.
I have this thing sometimes where I look at my watch, right?
Yeah.
Or I look at my phone, and it's always going to be like 3:06, 3:10. I find that the most annoying hour to wake up. 3:00. 3:00 is annoying because you're like, okay, there's a lot more. I'm missing out on sleep. This is the middle point.
Yeah, this is your REM. You should be in REM sleep, bro.
You should be REMing, bro. You should be REMing hard, bro. Yeah, and you're not, bro. And then you're like, oh, fuck it. All right, I'm gonna try and do sleep. And then I think the second most annoying time to wake up is an hour before you're meant to wake up.
Yeah,
because you're like, and then you start thinking about, oh, should I sleep? Should I try and sleep? But if I don't sleep, then I'm gonna get up earlier. So then maybe, and you just start fucking doing maths,
and the hour's done, man.
You do sums, bro, yeah, and then you look and you're like, oh, fuck.
It's jokes, isn't it? It's true. It's funny, isn't it? That hour that you meant, that last hour can be like 10 minutes, procrastination, yeah? But the last 10 minutes of an hour, you can go into such deep sleep that it feels
that's
like...
That's the best
you wake
sleep.
up, oh my God, you know what I mean, innit? And you've actually got up on time. You've only slept for 10 minutes, but it was so deep because you forced yourself, because subconsciously, you knew that you only had 10 minutes. So you had to... Yeah. It's funny, you can't get that sleep for 8 hours. Do you know when I have the best sleep as well? Yeah.
On the couch.
It's on the couch. You know when you've got to go somewhere?
Oh yes, bro. That is the best sleep.
Yeah.
You have like a designated time frame.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can have a nap or I can sleep. But you can't go beyond a certain time.
No.
And then you wake up and you're like, fuck's sake.
Yeah. Sorry, we're going to add to that.
No.
Yeah, it's exactly that. When you're watching, or I always even have this thing where I'm so relaxed and calm, because let's just say you're going somewhere, you're already dressed in that same scenario. Instead of falling asleep, what you've done is you put on a TV program which normally you wouldn't watch, but you started to find it interesting, and you're so calm and relaxed.
Antiques Roadshow, isn't it?
Yeah, Antiques Roadshow, how it's made on National Geographic, anything like that, yeah? And you really want to watch it, and we shouldn't have to go out, man.
Yeah, bro. That happens to me all the time.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, should we go? Yeah, okay. And then like, damn, that was sick. That was just like...
I watch you on catch up. You're never going to watch it. You're never going to watch that ever again, bro.
You're just using that as escape because you don't want to go to where you need to be, man. Yeah. But another one, another area where you best sleep as well. Afternoon, when you're staying in a holiday and you're in a hotel, and little one goes down for nap, and then you go down for nap before your dinner.
Yeah, bro.
That is the best sleep ever.
That's why I'm like sometimes like asking Gogan, what's the nap situation? When's the next nap? She'd be like, you should know that by now. You should
Yeah.
know. You should know the schedule. You know
Yeah.
how the routine works. I don't need to tell you.
The
I'm like, yeah, but just
routine.
tell me, innit? Give me a reminder. Give me a
Yeah.
hint. Give me a clue.
I was the last time we went on holiday. We were on Sundays on the first day, and I thought, hopefully, the missus already told me this holiday will be different. I go, why? He goes, they're older now. Yeah, you don't have to go in the pool if you don't have to go in the pool with them. Yeah, all day, every day. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, will I get time to? I was like, get time to chill in the sunbed. Yeah, like you do. Yeah, while I'm while I'm being Jeeves, get my goggles, get my suntan, get my rubber dinghy,
Fill up. Fill up.
Daddy,
With air.
cooking ice cream. Yeah, she's like, what? It's like this. Someone was showing me these brochures that you've made it. You've made it. Yeah, like how someone shows you to a retirement home. Yeah, and there's all these facilities. Yeah, and I was like, okay, cool. Bro,
Over here, you can relax at your leisure, and we have nice umbrellas here, which give you 100% shade. They bend towards the sun, so you get shade all day long.
Yeah.
And we have a butler. All of this, bro. She gave you the spiel, innit?
Yeah.
So you're like,
yeah. So you're like,
Gus.
Gus. I wish a Gus turned up, bro, to help. Bro, yeah, check this. So I sat down on the sunbed, and I remember I was like, and I was so tired, bro, because we literally just got in, got freshened up, and we took them straight to the pool. And we sat down, and it wasn't even 5 minutes yet. And I thought my kids were shy, bro, yeah, in these kind of situations. They were playing in the pool, and then the little one goes, Daddy, can you come in the pool? I was knocked out. Yeah, I was out. And then Nisha's like, Daddy's having a nap. Yeah, but I'll come in with you guys. Yeah, and then he'll come in after. And then she was kind of cute, to be fair. She was so cold from the water because she was out on the edge of the pool after. Yeah, because she kept, but I want Daddy, and she was quivering. And I was and I was like, oh man. I was like, she goes, oh, she wants you. I was like, bro, I got up and I was like, obviously went in. Yeah, and I was just thinking to myself, it's never, ever, ever. And I looked at the sunbed as I was walking towards the pool, bro.
With a tear in your eye.
Yeah. And I've never yet wanted that sleep. Yeah. But, oh, man. It is what it is, isn't it, bro? So somewhere down the line, I've clearly created a bond with my children, innit? Where they just want to be inseparable.
So that's good, isn't it?
It's good, bro. It's good. Not when you want to nap, Bran.
Not when you want to nap. I think that's where it becomes challenging, man. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I think the past few nights have got a bit better, but like there was a week where it was like consistent every night. I'd be up. So that's why I wanted to talk to you about it.
Yeah, man. I feel your pain, bro. It's change, isn't it?
It's change, bro. It is change, man. Change is the only constant, they say.
Do you know what though? Isn't it? It's good though, isn't it? Because only now I realize, we're just, I don't know, are we susceptible to change? Do we not like change as humans? Do we go against it? Or do we embrace change as we get older?
I think it depends on the person, man. And it depends on what's going on with them. Because there's certain things that you'll be open to change with a heartbeat. And then there's other things that you're going to be more reluctant to, especially when if you have become attached to certain things, and they are now changing, that's hard. If it's something that you're kind of done with it anyway, let's say for example it's a job and you're like, yeah, I'm checked out. Change in that situation, it will still be a bit bumpy, but your reluctance to, your inertia to it isn't. I don't think it's not going to be as strong as if you were fired or you were laid off or something, where it's like it always just kind of like hit you out of, like, it was unexpected.
Yeah, whereas when you
I think changes. Yeah. I mean, everything's going to change, isn't it? Every part of your life is always in some state of change, whether that's slow change or whether that's, it could fucking change in a second. And it's like, how do you adapt around? How do you deal with it? I think having a kid for sure gives you much more of an insight into that, because, bro, change is fucking constantly happening, man. Like, even you'll be changing her nappy, and you're like, this is fine, and she'll do something. She'd switch She just switch while you're changing it, and there's dirty on the fucking mat, and now there's dirty on her leg, and then there's dirty on the sock, and then you look, oh shit, I got dirty on my eyebrow. I had dirty on my eyebrow the other day, bro. Did I tell you this? I had dirty on my eyebrow, bro. I went to Gogan. I don't know, bro. It must have flicked in her flickage, bro. When she did like her ullring, bro. Yeah, somehow it flicked. And I didn't even feel it, bruv, yeah, because I was so preoccupied with her not falling off the fucking changing table and dirty not going everywhere, yeah.
Oh man,
I didn't notice.
Yeah,
no, bruv. And then I went, Gogan came in the room. She's like, "What's all this commotion going on?" I was like, "I was changing her. It was going fine. Okay, she'd done a poo. It was cash. It was just business as usual." But for some reason, she wanted to start doing this ullering thing, and she wanted to turn around and grab something, and then one thing led to another, and then there's poo everywhere. And she goes, "I think you have poo on your eyebrow."
Oh.
Before she even removed it, she took a photo of it.
I'm gonna have to get her to send me that.
So that is a perfect example.
So now you're an edge in it. Yeah, you're like, okay, now next time you have to change it again. You know she's going to be doing something even. You know you'll be prepared for it. But then
no, because the next time everything's Santi, bro. No problem. Aram, there ain't nothing going on. She'll just be playing. She'll just be sitting there giggling, whatever. But sometimes, bro, like I bro. I don't know what happens, man. Something switches up. Well, I'm telling you, man, change is fucking it's one of them ones.
It's funny.
Anyway,
yeah, go on.
No, go on.
It's like there's two ways you can look at it, right? Or you're either like, you know what, when you've done something for so long, and then when change comes in, it's really bumpy, and you're like, okay, your first, fight or flight thing is like, oh, let's just go back to what it was. I wish I could go back.
Resisting the change.
Yeah. And after you've got over that phase of that resisting the change, you're like, you know what? No, fuck it. That's not happening. Can't go back now. You start to, it's funny how you adapt, isn't it? But
you embrace it, right?
You embrace it, and then you're like, you know what? If this is change, and because I don't want to have that situation where I build a new constant, just give me change every day. Every so often, give me change, so it doesn't. That's
what
strike me like lightning.
I think that's what people say, right? That you should be trying to challenge yourself. You should be trying to kind of be putting yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
But then what if you don't want to? What if you're like, nah, man, nothing. I just want to fucking. I want stability. I want something that's constant. I want something that's predictable. So it's each to their own, man. I think it depends on your philosophy and your mentality and what you're trying to go after. Like if you want more, then
change.
You need to be pushing. You need to be, striving and going for it. But if you want, like, I'm content, I'm happy, I'm just kind of like doing my thing. Maybe you fluctuate, right? Maybe you fluctuate in your life. Sometimes you want to be going 100 miles per hour, and sometimes you don't. So
exactly. It depends what you want.
But yeah, I think we should do a separate sleep with sleep with our dads podcast.
Well, that would be anything but calming. That will go from. I can't even predict that. That's unpredictable.
If it's my dad and your dad talking, there'll be no structure. No. It would work because there'll be no structure. Two, they'll be talking at each other. They won't be listening to what the other. It's not a conversation. They'll talk at each other, and then you know what my dad's like, bro. He'll be talking about one thing, and then the train's left the station, and he's talking about something completely unrelated, bro. There's no connection between the previous topic and the next topic. It's like you're traveling through space. So in some ways, maybe that would work because you wouldn't be able to follow it.
Yeah, true. Do you know what? I can't even. I'm trying to picture it and actually put in my head how that would go, and I have no idea. It'll be interesting though. It'll be interesting.
But the thing is, I'll give you an example of how he does this. Like how he does this, like transition between conversations. Sometimes he'll just jump straight into the beginning of a conversation. and he'll be like, "Hapo chiolunu garanoche, ne bochi gari lesu." That's it. There is nothing that precedes that conversation, and he just jumps straight into the meat of the topic. And then I say to him every time, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I'm not following you, man. I'm not following you. Can you stop? Can you formulate the sentence, please? Start from the beginning.
Give me the specifics.
Give me the specifics before you dive in to say, I need to send this to this uncle or whatever it is. So
you know what though? I think so. I've picked that up, and I know where I get it from. My mom does that, yeah, and I do that to Nish.
Just like jump straight into it.
I jump in.
I do. I think I do it. I
said because but on my, it's just laziness on my part. I'm like, I just want you to know. Why can't you? If you live with me, why can't you tap into my?
Why can't you read my mind, man?
Yeah, exactly. And I say to her, and I said to her today, I was like, I messaged Mark this morning, and then she's like, "Which Mark? Which Mark are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, why, if you let me finish the sentence, yeah, you'll be able to pick in between the lines and know."
But I won't tell you. I'll give you. You should figure out by the end of the sentence.
Yeah. But before I even get there, yeah, it's like, but you know, and I do this a lot, and I don't know. I'm like, it's just either it's laziness because you can't bolt, or you just think that person that you're with is on sync in it and can read your mind, bro. Yeah. And then
bro, it's not. I don't think
it's not.
You know what? Yeah, when you talking about it, if Gagan is here right now, she'll be like, he does this every day.
Yeah. I can't. It's a man. I think it's a man thing. Do you know what? Are you done with? Are we moving on?
Yeah, go on.
You just gave me.
Oh, you got a struggle. All right, go on.
My struggle. So Raj came to my house. When did you come?
When I came to you, the other day, last weekend.
Yeah. The weekend.
I was getting my grandmother in Costco, so I was like,
was it Saturday?
Huh?
Was it actually a Saturday when you came? It was a Saturday, wasn't it?
I think it was a Saturday, yeah.
All right. Day's not important, but you came over, right? And obviously Nish gave me a task to do, which was just put the spinach in the blender, yeah? And I know what spinach is, and I know the blender, yeah? But there's two different.
So you're already on the right track.
I'm already on track, yeah? But there's one blender, one machine, but it's got two different utensils. Yeah, one is actually a blender jug, and the other one is actually a chopping.
Okay,
chopping. I don't know what it's called, man. Chopping bowl.
It's
a chopping bowl. Yeah. It's a chopping.
Yeah. Do you know which is which?
I know which is which because I use one of them every day. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so you know your tools.
All right, but in these moments, yeah. Obviously, you were there, and G was there as well, yeah. And I know what happens because my mom does the same thing. It kind of relates to how I tried to get someone to read in between the lines. I give them the bare bones, yeah, the bare bones of a conversation, and I just want them to understand who I'm talking about, what it is. This is what Nish did to me, yeah. She was like, "Can you just get the spinach and put some into the ninja?" I was like, "Okay, cool." She was the euphoria of having people over. She just gave me the bare bones, yeah. But she didn't realize
not the specifics,
not the script, bruv, yeah. And she forgot somewhere along
not the usual, not the
usual, as if you weren't there, bruv. Yeah, do you understand? You know, I believe because normally you say, "Here's the spinach. Use the ninja, but use the chopping bowl on this setting." All she said to me in this scenario, yeah, was, "But as if I've miraculously turned into bloody Ainsley fucking Harriet, bruv, yeah? And I know exactly what utensils I'm using, and she gives me the bare bones. Bruv, I knew where this was going straight away. I was like, you know what? I'm going to
fuck this up.
I accepted it. She said, the blender you use, the ninja. I was like, okay. She didn't even know what she was talking about, bro. Yeah, she didn't say specifics of chopping bowl. So obviously, I knew when the spinach went in. Yeah, this does not look right. The blades aren't even touching this thing. Yeah. And I thought,
did you alert her to the situation?
Obviously, but reluctantly, I had no choice because I was like, do I just transfer it over? I was being lazy. I was like, I know what the right thing to do is, but I didn't want to use my initiative, obviously. Yeah? And that's where I'm going to get. That's where devil's advocate comes in, isn't it? Yeah. But, and this is not even the point of the story. When I came out, yeah, obviously you were with the little one and you were in the room, and then G was in a funny situation as well. And I was going to call it out. G was in that situation where she wanted to help, innit? Yeah. And you know when you go to someone's house, isn't it? There's always someone, you're like, if they're cooking, let me help. And I was thinking, I'm just comfortable in it now. Like, I feel like saying to G, you know what, G, man, just go sit down, innit? Yeah. I knew I didn't have this, innit? That's why I didn't say it. I was like, nah, man, you stay, bro.
I might need some help.
Yeah. And
navigating this blender situation.
Exactly. And I think when I came out, and obviously I made it known to everyone that I fucked this up. Yeah. And Nish made it known. She's like, and then at that point, it's like I fell into a trap for her to correct me, innit? Because she was head chef, innit, bro? And she's like, use the wrong one, man. Use the wrong one. I was like, why didn't you not more specific then at that point? And I remember, do you remember I said, kind of not under my breath, obviously, but as quietly as well, the instructions went right. A union formed. Did you see the union formed?
Yeah, I saw the union, bro.
Yeah. Bro, where was my union backup when you were like, bro, yeah? As soon as the union formed between Gagan and Nish, yeah. Raj was with baby in it. And obviously I would have done the same thing, bro. I'm like, yeah, man, why are you messing it up, bro? And add more fire. Yeah.
Shout out the situation.
Yeah, shout out the situation. And this is what you expect from your point. It's funny, isn't it? But like the union just forms it's just instant.
No, it's instant. It's instant. You know why it's instant?
Why?
Because they see that behavior in their own fucking husband, bro. So that's like, I'm gonna marry your gun just as hard as I would marry his gun.
And his, bro.
And I'm gonna marry his gun.
Yeah. I had a massive chuckle to myself, innit? Because I knew where I was going with this, bro. And I thought to myself, I went back into that room. I said, "This is your fault." Myself, as in my fault. Yeah. I was like, why didn't I get both the blenders, take them in front, and say which one is it?
Clarify.
He was distracted, bro.
No, yeah.
You know,
sometimes I will take that extra step.
Yeah.
Because if you take the extra, whatever the instruction is, if you take the extra step to confirm the instruction, you might get a bollocking for it.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be as bad as the bollocking that you're going to get if you fuck it up, bro.
It's funny, man. I was like, oh, man. I was like, this. Why don't I learn? You never learn, innit?
You don't learn, bro.
The spinach got dealt with though in the end, so it's cash. But yeah,
it was a nice meal, man.
Three blenders later, innit?
It was good. I think that's the baby. Or is that your baby?
Not mine, man.
I can hear someone crying. Yeah, that was just the other day, wasn't it, when we came over?
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely remember that. I remember you coming over and just holding the spinach, and it didn't look.
So if there's anyone else who struggles, just ask for specifics. Yeah, even get them to draw a diagram.
You know what? Sometimes if you try and take your initiative and think for yourself, you get in trouble as well if you do that.
Yeah. So there's no win
because you. No, I always say just give me very direct instructions wherever you need.
Yeah.
And I'll do the same. If I need something done,
I
give specifics. But I'm very flexible. I'm
What do you mean flexible?
As in, like, I feel like if I'm giving instructions about something and it's not entirely done the precise way that I would have done it myself, I don't get as worked up about it. This is gonna give me so much fucking hot water.
Oh, is this a subliminal message? Are you calling someone out?
Yes, bro. We're talking about our wives, man.
It's true. I don't get worked up, man. I
don't. I feel like I don't. I mean, maybe there's the odd thing, but there's.
It's not life or death, isn't it? I won't be seeing Raj for a while after this.
This is the last episode that we will have for a while now.
And while we're on this topic of
Oh fuck, bro! Why
How
are you gonna
you-
keep digging, bro? I mean, do you call my man, bro?
bro, we're past digging, bro. Yeah, we're picking out the box. Yeah, check this. So you know how we have this thing about we could do something. You're not too bothered if things aren't done the way you want, right? And I'm just gonna flip onto this. Like, I drive everywhere, yeah. Not because Nish can't drive; she's a good driver, whatever. But when we're traveling as a family, I just always drive. It's it's the thing, basically, right?
It's how it works for you.
It's how it works, yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Unless I can't for whatever reason, yeah. The other day, so every time we're late, when we make our late night journeys back home from wherever we are, yeah, the kids obviously knock out, yeah, and Nish, I might be in a chatty mood, but Nish will always, towards the end, she would always from the start knock out because she's like, oh, it's the best nap. And then when I start flagging, sometimes I do start flagging, yeah, on late night
long drive
journeys home, yeah, and I'm like, Nish, talk to me, because and she's like, oh, what? Yeah, okay, yeah. And then it's funny when someone you try to ask you ask someone to make impromptu conversation with you, even if it's your wife, bro, is nothing in it, yeah. Bro, so I let her get on with it, and I'm like, you know what, go back to sleep. I'm just going to put a podcast or put some music on or whatever. The other day, I sat in the passenger seat after a very long time, bro. Yeah, we both went to Nando's. Yeah, I drove there, but she got in. While I went to go get the takeaway, she actually got in the driver's seat in case she had to move the car. And then when I came back with it, she just goes, "Just get in, I'll drive." I was like, "Cool." Well, mind you, Nando's is only 10 minutes from our house. Yeah. So the first thing I did was I was like, "Well, if she's driving, But I've forgotten how to be a passenger. Yeah.
We like pressing the pedals.
No, I wasn't doing any of that, man. You know what I did? Yeah, I picked up my phone and I was just on my phone, and she felt like she was in a chatty mood all of a sudden. She didn't say anything on the way there, yeah, because she was the one in the passengers. I was driving. I picked up my phone. She's like, "Oh, there you go on your phone. I'm trying to have a conversation with you, yeah."
Bro,
and you know what she said?
Bro?
Yeah, do you know what she said? She goes, next time you're you're driving, I'm not even going to talk to you. I was like, you fall asleep anyway, bro. It's jokes, isn't it? Yeah, you can drive 100 goddamn times, yeah, anywhere, yeah, and you can give your passenger the buy to go sleep and do whatever they want, yeah, not talk to you, yeah, let them
for 10 minutes, bro.
Yeah, bro, for 10 minutes, yeah. And then I think the penny hit home when I was like, well, you do it all the time, bro. Yeah. And then it was just silent.
Oh, well, you said that.
Yeah, of course I said that. Yeah. I was like, you do it all the time. It was just the audacity. Normally I wouldn't even say it. I'll be like, I can't bother. You know how you said it doesn't bug you? It doesn't bug me either. But I was like, I'm making a point.
But there's sometimes where you're like, mind I just do kill person going.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? I just thought, this is a great topic for the pod, man. Because you can do, how we always say you can do something 10 times, and then that 11th time you say no, bro. Yeah, all eyes are on you, man.
No, that's exactly it. That the phone thing is it happens, bro. If I call out when she's on her phone, it's like I'm listening. And to be fair, she can definitely multitask.
I agree.
Like I have to hold my hands up and say, like, she could be on her phone, and able to have a coherent conversation with me, as well as giving me like feedback, right? Like full on. I cannot. If I'm looking at my phone, bro, tunnel vision. I can't hear. Bro, my dad could walk into the room and continue the conversation, and I think I'm still talking to Guggen.
Yeah.
So I understand it, right? Like, I understand the difference, but it's still it feels frustrating, because it's like, well, hold on, you can do this. Obviously, you're able to cope with the multitasking way more efficiently than I can.
Yeah.
But then when I pick up my phone, it's like, oh wow, you're always on your phone.
Yeah. It's true. They can. I think women can generally multitask better. I get tunnel vision as well. Once I'm on my phone, I can't. Like, I'll give you an example today. So actually, you know how I deal with it now as well. If I've checked out of a conversation, I make it clear. Yeah, I have checked out. I need to, because do you know what have we had this conversation before?
Maybe.
Yeah, but there's this one thing where, you know, when you can get to World War III if you're on your phone and you've realized, this person talking to me, and you're like, can you repeat? And they don't want to repeat.
Oh yeah. No.
So then I was like,
say? You get that test.
what
What
did you
say?
What did I just say? I was like, and you bring up some models. Yeah, you talk about a washing basket, the washing machine, yeah, and some detergent. No, I wasn't. You never listen. But you know what I was going.
You just say bro. You know what you do? Something. It's the last word that you remember being said.
Yeah.
And then you make a sentence around that.
Yeah. Which makes no sense whatsoever.
It makes no sense.
And you know when they say, like, if you're not listening, it's fine. Just tell me so I don't waste my breath. So next time I was like, so I use that now, yeah? So I'm like, look, I've checked out this conversation because I just have. The bandwidth, the brain is just switched off, yeah? Let's have this conversation. Clearly I'm not as interested, so just do what you need to do with this decision, or
we have spoken about this. Yeah. It was about a decision that needed to be made or something. Yeah,
bro. And then even today, it's getting better though, because today, in the midst of her conversation, I must have, which wasn't it was an important topic that we were talking about. I picked up the phone and I had an important email to get back to, and. Why is it that they're always in a chatty mood when something important comes up? Yeah, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm not listening, and I need to, I need to do this, bro. Luckily, there was no, there was no repercussions of that. I think the understanding was there that this was more important and what was not taught. But when I said it, I was like, no, in my
holding your bollocks,
yeah. I was like, have I just woken the beast and the dragon, bro? Yeah. But yeah, man, it's funny, isn't it? How a union forms, man, very quickly.
Yeah. I think that's us, man.
That is us.
I think we've done enough digging for today, bruv.
Yeah.
I do want to come back next week.
If you don't see us next week,
you know where we are. There'll just be a new episode. It'll be Nish and Gogan hosting it. Please keep the feedback coming in. Keep sharing your stories, your struggles, and all the rest of it. I don't have any shout outs this week. Do you have any shout outs or any announcements?
Yeah, man. Shout out to sleep.
Please come back to me. I haven't seen you in a while consistently.
Just shout out to everyone who's been listening and been sending in feedback again. It means the world to us, and it's like energy, especially when we can't sleep. When Raj can't get sleep, I'm sure he's looking at these messages.
I'm looking at these messages thinking, how am we gonna work this into the next episode? And if you are one of the random people out there, if you even exist, that is listening to this episode while you're trying to sleep, I hope you have a good night. Don't wake up, please, until you need to wake up. I think that's us, man. Share the struggle, find the funny. See you later, people. Bye.
Take care.